The IRS is really a problem, and it is grossly unfair to the American taxpayer. Today, Commissioner Koskinen warning the IRS is slashing taxpayer services. Now, that's code for, well, you didn't pay your taxes late, your tax refund will be late. And the commissioner blames budget cuts, but it gets worse. The commissioner also saying there will now be fewer IRS workers to take up your calls for help right at a time when Obamacare is making filing tax returns more complicated. So get ready for some long hold times, and that is even if you reach a human. And our political panel is back. ABC News political director Rick Klein, and Weekly Standard's John McCormick. And Rick, you know this unglues me.
Yeah, look, this is a plea for more funding. This is you put out a memo like this to kind of scare people, hope that they call the members of Congress. The members of Congress then say, you know what, we have to do something to restore the cuts. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen. There's about 0.0% chance of any additional money flowing to the IRS. It is not going to happen with the Republican Congress. Even this administration, I think, would be too worried about the perceptions to ask for it. So, look, every government agency has had deep cuts. Does it affect services? Of course it does. People make adjustments, and I think that has to be the rule of thumb as we move forward.
John, I just think they're whining, but go ahead, your thought, and I'm going to get to mine in a second. I have some numbers, but go ahead.
Well, I can't imagine anyone campaigning on the need for more money for the IRS so we can have more audits and more people working the phones. I mean, this is like a 3% budget cut. If there are many ways you could make up for this money, one way would be to actually have some of the people focus on fraud for the EITC, that's the Earned Income Tax Credit. There are billions and billions of dollars every year that go out fraudulently. If the IRS did a little bit better job, they could easily make up for this 3 or 4% shortfall.
Okay, now I'm unglued. Let me tell you what I'm unglued. First of all, for starters, how about putting Al Sharpton on a payment plan for the taxes he has? He makes fees. He's got $4 or $5 million worth of unpaid taxes plus interest. I don't know what that is. Now, the budget cut apparently was $346 million. That's what the IRS commissioner is complaining of. He has $346 million less this year than last year. Here's another fact. Research. There are right now in the federal government, there are 318,000 federal employees with delinquent taxes. 318,000 employees. And how much do they owe in delinquent taxes? We know where they are. We can dock their pay. They're on the federal payroll. They owe $3.3 billion. So while the commissioner is whining about $346 million in budget cuts, he could get from the federal employees $3.3 billion if he bothered to collect. Not to mention the fact that between the years 2010 and 2012, the IRS spent $49 million on conferences. Now, what in the world do they need conferences? I think the IRS is the most, well, I don't know. This is TV. It's incredible.
Yeah, and
I don't know how he has to ask with a straight face.
Another. I know this is a pet peeve of yours, but part of what they're saying they have to cut back is overtime. Well, if you know that overtime is going to happen, you're structuring something wrong. If this is a kind of a budgeted thing, but look, they're going to have to manage around this. And
why don't they just do their jobs? I mean, you know what? They're just holding up the American people. I mean, it really is a disgrace. I mean, they've got the same budget for 1998 budget when they could do the job in 1998 with this money, and they can't do it now. And they got better computers and better software.
Well, it's probably the least sympathetic branch of the government and the least sympathetic bureaucrat. I mean, this is John Koskinen guy is the one who went before the House panel and was just smugly saying, oh, we lost this. I'm sorry we didn't tell you about it. And then Paul Ryan took him to task saying, you know what, you make every American hold on to their receipts for 7 years. 7 years, and you can't even keep your receipts for, what, a couple years? It was ridiculous.
And they let 318,000 federal employees with delinquent taxes to the tune of $3.3 billion owed, not to mention Al Sharpton in and out of the White House a million times, and he owes $4.5 or $5 million in unpaid tax according to the New York Times.
It does make the case for needed reforms that I think anyone would agree on. And I have a feeling we're going to hear about this on the presidential campaign trail.
We forgot the Star Trek video. How much did that one cost?
How much?
I don't know. The IRS Star Trek video?
Yeah. No,
what are they spending money on? I mean, this is it is absolutely theft from the American people. And God forbid if you should be late paying your taxes and now they don't pay you your refund on time. When I keep your money and don't pay on time, that's actually stealing. But anyway. Other than that, it's a great organization. one of your finest government agencies.
You still have to pay it.
Yeah, you still have to pay it. Yeah, right. Anyway, panel, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.